Ladies and gentlemen, it is fantastic to be back. I'm found, and I cannot wait for this matchup that we have going on
Oh,
today between RLS and Team Wash. It feels like I've been gone for so long. I've missed everybody. How you doing, Anti? Who I am
I
going to be joined
am.
today.
Yeah, I mean, I am doing quite well myself. Glad to be back here with you on the cast. You know, it is my team up there, so I might be a little bit biased here and there. But despite me not being playing on RLS, being able to be a part of the production side is always a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. This has always been a great opportunity for everybody trying to create their own brand and actually be involved with something as so high tech and developed as everything the two Chris's have created. Well, let's get right into drafts since we have some bands coming out already. Malphite Diana taken out by the Sam RLS, and then we have Gragas and Aphelios taken out by Team Wash.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely interesting bands coming out from both teams. The Malphite, Diana, and Ari. Now, of those three, only one of those champions, being the Ari, is actually considered relatively meta right now. So you can tell that these are very pointed bans towards both the teams, the way how they play, and also what the teams may or may not want to be making. Now, the Aphelios being taken away from Teth, definitely going to be pinching a little bit of that AD carry pool. Then the Gragas, one pick that War Leader has been playing extensively throughout qualifiers and throughout the split. And the immediate Jinx on B1, that is the tried, the true, the classic, incredibly strong AD carry right now.
Absolutely. All of the Arcane champions have been killing it in the meta recently, and it's fantastic to see Jinx come out or instantly. Wash is going to take away the Lulu, so the Jinx Lulu combination is going to be taken away. I am very happy to see that. RLS has been very strong in their bot lane as of late, and it would be definitely difficult for Team Wash to try to match that lane. Now, what they're going to pair with this Lulu is going to be interesting since Aphelios is already taken out, so I'm expecting a Caitlyn, unless we're going to get something a little bit different from Barbituate.
I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Caitlyn. Now, you did mention that the bot lane has been very strong. Oh, a Twitch, actually.
Oh, it's Twitch getting spicy.
Interesting. Not something that you see too often, but Twitch Lulu is a very strong pairing, which we have seen many, many times over the years. And returning to my previous point, as we saw earlier, the bot lane has been doing very well for RLS lately, but this time we are having Tephra, who they are usually playing support. This time they are playing the AD carry, and built like Mewtwo, who is actually Demon Girl, a returning support from last season, going to be taking up the support mantle. So we're definitely going to be having some different things this time around. The immediate Hecarim and Darius locked in from the side of rapidly losing sanity. Oh lord.
Absolutely, really aggressive topside already taken up. The Darius being the lane bully that he is, Hecarim being one of the better divers coming into the mid and late game and even to the early game if he does start to snowball. But I just cannot get more excited about this Twitch pick. I'm about to go off on a little bit of a tangent, but Twitch is one of my favorite champions, and we do not see him as often as we should. He is 100% the steroid AD carry, so he has very short windows of immense power when he has his ultimate up. When his Q has just been using, he just pops out of stealth. So one of the better champions to function with Yulu, since he does get full value out of her shield most of the time. And for frankly, if this works, I really hope this is something that FOF does have other teams start to lean towards. The Team Wash has already made me a fan. I do like their draft now taking up the Jarvan to kind of collect up a bunch of souls to be taken by Twitch with a big rat-a-tat-tat. Or is it spray and pray, actually, I believe it's called now.
I do believe it is the spray and pray, but either way, one of the things I do also love about Twitch is so versatile nowadays. You do have the AD build, you have the AP builds as well, right? You have Shattered Crown as an option, making Twitch significantly more safe. So if the Twitch does get ahead, it's going to be super interesting to see what you end up building. And the Soraka going to be taken off the table by Team Washed here. Very interesting choice for them. I mean, I do believe that Bill like Mewtwo has played a bit of the Soraka earlier today, so maybe they might be looking at that previous match history. And the Victor is something that Cowrie has been playing a lot of, did get a pentakill during the qualifiers. So taking that pick off the table, definitely a strong choice for Team Wash.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really sad to see Soraka go, though. It looks like Church isn't going to be in session today. Who knows? Maybe Cowrie was going to take it into the mid lane. It would go really well with this type of composition, especially with how movement speed and healing oriented champions like the Hecarim, champions like the Darius can be with that extra assistance. But it looks like we're going
No
to get
way.
something a little bit more spicy. This would be a different kind of flavor for Cowrie if they do go for an assassin.
Oh Lord, okay, don't get me wrong. I love Cowrie. Cowrie is a friend of mine who I have known for many years. I would be hard pressed to see an Akali pick right there. Instead, going to be picking up the Karma, going to take a little bit more time to think about it. And the Vex going to end up being locked in. Cowrie has been playing a lot of Vex since her release. So this is very much both a comfort pick and an incredibly strong power pick right now. The Mundo on the side of Team Wash, the question is, who have they saved this mid lane pick for?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be
The
Veigar taken
Veigar.
up. So interesting to see Vex kind of be picked blind. Is typically used as a counter pick. If you notice, Team Watch has kind of picked a team composition with basically the lowest mobility you could have, other than the Jarvan flag and drag. There isn't any real other dashes or gap closers. So Vex isn't going to get as much out of her passive as she typically does, but she is a very stylish champion. And frankly, these drafts are really exciting because there's a lot of AP burst and the sustained damage from these 80 carries. So we are going to get into this match between RLS Team Wash. I gave it 60-40, 40-60. Who we do not know how it's going to come out, but I'm fantastic and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, I mean, you might have given it a 60-40. Audience seems to be giving it a 75-25 in RLS's favor. But only the Rift will be able to tell us how things are actually going to end up turning out. Right here, I mean, I do think that the Vex pick honestly tends to round out this composition relatively well. If the Hecarim gets into the backline, the Darius is also there, and all of a sudden you got a Vex bowling in from the side with the Fears, with the AoE CC, while Jinx gets to just do whatever she wants. If RLS gets ahead, it's so hard to stop the Death Ball from rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. The Death Ball is going to be extremely potent, especially this Hecarim from War Leader is going to be a big impact. If Hecarim is strong and has ability to threaten the backline by himself, he's going to be really potent. But there's a lot of damage that he's going to be diving into. Wednesday is going to have that Prism to really separate the team, and that ultimate can easily obliterate a Hecarim who's very far behind. So you got to be always consider that. And there's the Polymorph to also worry about. So I think there's a lot of good answers for the time Team Wash if they do manage to navigate this early laning phase and get their lanes in good states to fight for these dragons objectives.
And one of the big things that I do want to highlight here is that Wash and RLS, this is not the first time that they've come across each other. Last time was during the qualifiers where RLS actually fell behind quite a bit early on and then ended up taking it in a roundabout slugfest back and forth between these two titans and ended up taking it in a 40-minute game. So I'm expecting to see something real spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. And with laning phase going out, but there is no indication on what Twitch is going to go just yet. He has taken over the PTA, so that does indicate more of an AD variant. So it is going to be an AD Twitch, most likely. That is something I do prefer in this matchup. Anytime you have sustained damage, the AP variant kind of loses a little bit of its potency. It's very good against squishies and less good against some of the tankier options that the Darius and the Hecarim are going to be. So really well done on that part. I think it's a good decision relatively for this a little bit of trading in the bot lane.
And while I do think that, the trading has been going quite nicely in RLS's favor, that's a Doran shield on the Twitch. We are going to be getting a decent bit of sustain coming out, and with the biscuits as well. The Twitch Lulu lane, they do not care about getting kills. They just want to scale up.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, this bot lane is really interesting. I think that both bot laners kind of went with the worst starting items that they could have gone with. I think Doran Shield really loses a lot of its value. If you want that extra sustain, Longsword 3 pots tends to just give you more value. Also, given the way that the Doran Shield heals you up, it doesn't tend to give you that massive amount of regen that you would like to hope from just having extra pots. And Jinx, I don't know. I think Doran's Blade has been really undervalued, and it's kind of fallen to the wayside, and I would have also kind of liked that earlier curve you get from going the longsword options.
I mean, longsword's definitely good, and Warrior going to actually go in at level 4 to the level 3 here, but Wednesday is faster on the rotation, but Pony's just gonna hop on out as
Yeah.
Kaori's actually the one trotting in.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to allow the Jarvan to get out, but this is going to be the Scuttle still being taken up. Now, the damage is not going to be there for Vex. Oh,
Oh,
the Q's going to miss, so give a chance for a steal, but it will not happen as Jarvan is going to be the one to take it. So, well done on the side of Wash being able to secure that, but it does look like Hecarim will still have the option to recall, and he did get that lower Scuttle crab.
I mean, it's just a little bit of an anime pose with the flag over there, you know? But either way, GodX Anime, happy to take the Scuttle, not going to be getting double Scuttle this time around, but with Hecarim backing here, Kieri is alone in the top side with a big trade onto PJ Salt. Oh?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of damage coming out. Passive still available for Mundo, so but that is going to be the flash Q, and he's going to pick it up. First blood up already, and a trade kill is going to be given over, but really well done getting the end of that cleave onto the Mundo and grabbing that early kill.
Yeah, and I love that so much. You know, Kieri, she is showing us something different from what we did see yesterday, where she was just playing weak side the entire time, getting camped by the enemy team on repeat. But this time, she's going to be pulling out the first blood, going with the flash for it. It doesn't matter if you give up a kill, because at least you're making a statement. But either way, bot lane could be in trouble here.
Yeah, absolutely. War Leader hovering around. The Ghost is popped. This is going to be a long con gank. Polymorph is going to come through. Really well done on the side of Johnny, preventing anything further from War Leader on that gank. And that's a lot of resources burned for basically a one cooldown advantage.
Yeah, but Hecarim, War Leader's not actually going to be moving over towards the Dragon, just going to be going straight back to the jungle. With the tier on board, this is going to be a Manamune Hecarim. Actually going to be stacking up quite a bit of damage later on, but spot lane's still relatively equalized. A little bit of a CS lead on the side of RLS here, but nothing too drastic.
And actually, even though Kyrie did get that early kill, the wave state has been in the advantage of PJ Salt. He has managed to pick up a pretty decent CS advantage, already opening up about 14. But this is going to be a really disadvantageous fight. The healing is going to come through, going to possibly prevent the bleed, as really aggressive on the side of PJ Salt, trying to use that level 6 advantage, but they take a bunch of return damage as punishment.
Yeah, and Kieri is just continually getting these ridiculous trades off so much damage as War Leader comes into the mid lane.
Yep, gank coming, and that is going to be Wednesday, getting a good cage, preventing anything further. The double stun. Only a little bit of damage is going to follow through, so I'm not punished on that gank, but a lot of health taken away, so that is going to put Wednesday in a position where he's going to have to either hug that tower or recall. So well done on the side of War Leader, just getting some pressure out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You see a lot of lane presence coming out from these junglers, but basically no successful ganks just yet, with the exception of GodX Anime getting the return kill on the top side, which is more of just a pick-me-up rather than a gank, honestly. But with so much gank pressure, both junglers are still very even in terms of farm, in terms of gold, and in terms of relative impact, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Been really slow so far. Only 100 gold difference right now. For the side of Team Wash, so they are on a decent clip, not falling super far behind. And I do believe they do outscale. So at least a slower game state does benefit them if they do not allow any further aggression to come out from the side of RLS, which this is kind of something to be expected given all the subs, as this is going to be another gank on the PJ Salt. Passive is still available for this Mundo, so the knockback isn't going to come through. A bunch of return damage on War Leader, but the pull is going to be there. PJ Salt taking all that extra damage, but is going to be able to sustain through with the ultimate not coming in. And once again, more pressure headed towards this top side. That's another gank. That's going to be the ultimate, and it's nothing further, as Jarvan did get a good ultimate, but only was able to force the flash out of Kaori.
Yeah, you know, Kaori just going to be flashing out there as War Leader continually looking to pick up this Scuttle. Should be hitting 6 relatively soon. Actually, not going to be hitting 6 off of that, despite the CS being relatively similar between GodX Anime and War Leader. GodX Anime still sitting on that level 6, while War Leader's at a measly 5, and actually going to be losing out on the dragon here, as Wash is taking the first drag of the game.
Yeah, really well done. And that's going to be a stun. Wednesday is going to find a little bit of damage as another gank on the PJ Salt, but once again into the passive. That passive is getting a lot of value this game, as just preventing all these ganks from happening.
Yeah, War Leader does finally hit 6 after absorbing quite a bit of lane experience, though. But just going to return to the jungle, going to be looking over the farm. And this is still a relatively slow game, not too much going on. And Kiri does have really good all-ins on the Darius, but speaking of all-ins,
Yep, all in. Root's gonna land. Ultimate's gonna come through. Vex is gonna get the fear, and that's gonna be Barbiturate dropping as a really good roam from the side of Cavalry, finding it and being the solo jungler picking up that kill.
yeah, I mean, we did see Cowrie last season playing on the jungle role on, I do believe it was Serenity Senate for a bit. But either way, Cowrie once again returning to their roots, returning to the roaming potential that we love to see. And Vex with a kill on the board definitely could spell a little bit of the start of the snowball.
Yeah, absolutely. The CS advantage has gone into the side of Tef in that bot lane, collecting up a bunch of minions. Now, Cavalry's going to get stunned up. This is going to be a big bot of damage from the side of Wednesday, and Dropper as well done for the solo kill for the side of Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday able to pick that one up. Cowrie overstaying with no mana, had no business being there. And the moment you do get hit by that stun, it is lights out for you. And Vex going to be going down immediately as Wash was looking at take the Rift Herald, but decided against it at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be the setup for an all-in. It looks like the fighting is going to continue on this top side. Mundo has kind of gotten to the point where he is able to stabilize, really prevent the Darius from finding those all-ins unless Qs are consistently landing. So well done on PJ Salt to be able to neutralize after he did give up that first blood.
Yeah, neutralization is the name of the game here. As we said earlier, RLS have a ridiculous death ball composition, so you just can't let it start rolling. And Wash have done a great job at just neutralizing the lane state, not giving up too much early on, and something that honestly should have resulted in them losing a lot of early pressure. Right? But instead, you just lose a little bit of the CS and nothing too consequential.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be Godex Anime looking for a gank, trying to bail out this Twitch, as he's going to at least look to get this wave shoved in. This bot lane has been really unfortunate for the side of Team Wash, not able to get many advantages and now suffering in the CS department. But they have 4 people on this bot side, and they are going to be spotted on this ward, so there shouldn't be anything further. But they are going to need to try to bail out this Twitch if they want him to be viable in the mid to late game.
Yeah, I mean, the little Predator pop from Wednesday alerted both Tef and Mewtwo to make sure that, hey, we know we're getting ganked this time. It's not just a little bit of suspicion, but right now, the question is, what's next for both of these teams? Because the longer this game goes, the better and better it does look for Wash, although it's not like RLS's comp doesn't scale.
Yeah, absolutely not. Now, this is one of the compositions where the scaling is going to be quite even. Twitch is one of the very few AD carries that scales similarly to the Jinx, at least when that ultimate is on. As PJ Salt's going to get a bunch of damage, ultimate pop. Darius is just going to get chunked out. The apprehend isn't going to be there. The R is going to be coming through. PJ Salt is going to sustain through it. So a decent all-in, and once again, Kiri does manage to turn it as now War Leader is going to
here we are.
Is going to come out, and that's going to be the dash away. Now they're both under the tower. PJ Salt's trying to get away, but isn't going to make it. War Leader is going to drop. Now Godex Anime is going to come in with the ultimate. That's going to force Tef's flash, and the autos are coming through. But 2 flashes from Tef and Mewtwo as they're continuing to trade, and a bunch of damage is going to come in as Tef is going to make it out by the skin of his teeth, and hopefully not die to the poison.
Yeah, and Mewtwo able to pop a small shield onto Tef right at the very end there, and they are able to both get away with their lives. Minus a few sums here, but Kiri going to be picking up the plates in the top lane, and this game is slowly looking better and better for RLS, right? They got the kills onto the people who really need them. Their bot lane didn't give up too much in return, and now they're all in a position where they're looking to take the dragon with some incredibly strong abilities still available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely one of those examples of how important the laning phase is, because this is basically very little jungler interference and very little successful ganks from these junglers, but a lot of significant laning advantages. As a good prism from the side of Wednesday isn't going to come out to much, but now Mewtwo is going to be in a little bit of trouble, forced to walk away. PJ Salt's going to walk in. That's going to be the good flag and drag that's going to find Cowrie, first one to drop, and good engage from the side of God X Anime, finding a good pick onto this Vex.
Yeah, it is God X Anime. This team lives and dies by this jungler. God X Anime, incredibly volatile, but when they are ahead, it's every single thing in the game plays around their tempo, and it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important player for this continued success of Wash. And they didn't burn that much, so they are going to still be able to contest this wave bot lane as GodX Anime is going to look for this gank. There is no flashes on the side of either Tex or Mewtwo. The teleport is going to come in from the side of Darius, but the gank is still going to come through. The back out pings are coming. GodX Anime is going to be rooted. That's going to be the fear. Cowrie's going to find the first one, and now the flash has been forced out. Barbitua is going to get that ultimate damage down, but too far in as Cowrie's going to drop, and the spray and pray does grab it, so Willie Rowe played from the side of Barbitua, continuously getting that damage out.
Yeah, another 1-for-1 for the side of RLS, and Cowrie going to be burning both the flash and the teleport, and while it's not more kills, Tef and Mewtwo both getting a huge amount of damage off of this tower, actually going to be able to take the entire thing and accelerating this Jinx exactly where they need to go, and taking the top tower at the same time. This is a double cross-map play.
Yeah, absolutely. Two towers instantly going over for the side of RLS. Really well done on the side of their part. Getting as much as they could out of that. Unfortunate bot lane play didn't go as good as they did expect, but here we go. That's going to be the double knock. Really good from the side of GodX Anime. The Aura Leader is going to be forced to ulti out, and Wednesday's going to find it. Darius is going to find himself right into the ground as a flash ultimate's going to pick it up as Wednesday grabs the double kill.
Yeah, and you know, War Leader and Kieri both getting a little bit too comfortable as Wednesday going to be just coming up on them. You know, it's right around the corner, and Wednesday going to be able to pick up even more kills. This Veigar is looking scarier and scarier, and that baby cage from the Veigar honestly controls so much space in this game that it's going to be so difficult for RLS to play around it.
Absolutely. Wednesday has found himself 3-0, being a little bit of a quiet assassin, finding ways around the map, actually putting down pressure. Teleport still available. That was a good walk-up gank also, so definitely a little bit of over-aggression from the side of RLS, and he's going to get punished. Look at where these kills are placed. They have kills onto the Vex, which is okay, but the kills for Washed are on Veigar and on Twitch. You couldn't ask for anything better.
But either way, Tef now has the Gale Force on the Jinx, incredibly strong power spike, and while Barbitua has been, you know, not necessarily in the greatest of positions in terms of CS or the lane pressure, both of them are actually completely equalized here, and with the slightly magical boots, Twitch does come out a little bit on top here, so it's a question of what they do with these fully completed items.
Yeah, absolutely. And where this farm allocation goes in this mid game is going to be extremely important. Basically, at this point, everything needs to go into Barbitua. He's going to be the main carry. He needs to be a massive threat as this fight is going to be grouped around this mid lane tower. But this is a lot really aggressive double flash for
a beautiful flash.
And then the fear, a bunch of damage, and GodX Anime is going to be the first one to drop. But the ultimate has come out from Twitch, and a bunch of return damage has come through. Good Gale Force from Tef to prevent any follow-up. Baby Cage is going to be there, and that's going to be Wednesday finding the stun and getting the kill. Wednesday's taking a bunch of damage, is going to be shut down by the side of Tef, and the fight does continue with 4-3 so far. So a decent engage from the side of GodX Anime, but instantly turned around after those flashes come out.
Yeah, an incredible play from Mewtwo. Just fancy feet, dancing around every skill shot until she finally forced Wednesday to walk up a little bit closer and use that primordial burst that Veigar's incredibly strong with. But once you burn that incredibly strong cooldown, that ultimate, right, you're in the middle of the enemy team, and Word Leader immediately ready to punish that.
Yeah, absolutely. Veigar did have to commit very heavily to get that ultimate off. Ultimate's not the highest range. Barbitua is going to be in his stealth mode, possibly looking for a pick, unable to find it. But yeah, even with all the fighting that occurred over that mid tower, RLS was still able to get their main advantage, main goal with taking that tower, and that's going to be them taking all 3 outers already at 18 minutes into the game. But this kind of stalls them out, and they do have to fight for this third dragon.
Yeah, and third dragon is incredibly strong here, right? They are looking for the Cloud Soul, and this will put Wash on Soul Point, and RLS in their game the other day, right? We did see RLS go 4 dragons back to back to back, immediately getting the Elder actually early on into the game, about as early as you possibly could ask for. But either way, a fight is starting up here.
Ultimate's gonna come in. Warleader taking a bunch of damage, getting really low. Warleader's gonna be the first one to drop. Godix Anime still alive. The ultimate coming out from Twitch. All the autos there. Carry's here. The Vex ultimate's in. That's gonna be a good pickup. Vex picks up the one on the back line, and now Wednesday's gonna be in trouble, take a bunch of damage, and this Veigar is gonna drop, but executed by the guillotine. So RLS is gonna take the fight, and well done on their part. They're gonna get their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, and with Anime off the table, no jungler smite is going to be a possibility, and no steal, no dice. As RLS, it's 8-8, but RLS are firmly in control of the tempo of this game, and honestly, with a 2k gold lead, this feels way, way higher.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not the end of the world for Team Wash yet, but that's 2 straight kills given over by Wednesday. 1 shutdown and 1 just kind of meandering towards the back line, trying to be flanky Frankie and unable to find anything. So these team fights have been going into RLS's favor. The laning phase went into RLS's favor, but a lot of the opportunities are still there with Twitch having so much gold in his back pocket, is going to be able to possibly collect up another item soon. And everything is really going to be onto this Twitch timer, as he's going to be that massive damage output, at least until Veigar picks up that death cap.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Wednesday saw Cowrie ult into the backline and said, you know what, if one Yordle can hop into the enemy backline and get a kill and be safe, why not my Yordle? But either way, that is the power of the Vex coming out incredibly strong with the Everfrost. Covers so much space, and with AoE CC, once you find yourself in a team fight, in a choke point, you have to play these flawlessly.
Yeah, absolutely. That fear was massive in the last fight. As here's Godix Anime kind of meandering into the bot lane, gonna land the knockup. A bunch of damage. The Red Smite's gonna come in, force the flash out from the side of Cowrie. But here comes the Predator. Here comes the flash, and here comes the shutdown. As Wednesday's gonna grab another one. Fantastic play from the side of this mid-jungle duo.
Man, for every big play Cowrie does is just another play coming back onto them. You know, Wash does not want to let Cowrie get any bit of an ego.
No, absolutely not. And a bunch of gold collected up by the side of this Veigar, making Wednesday even more dangerous than he already was. 2 needlessly large rod, about 1,200 gold. Once that death cap comes in, this Veigar is completely online, and everything he gets after that is just going to be increasing in potency, as PJ Salt's going to be in trouble. A bunch of damage kicking up, but they need to be careful. The baby carriage out, and neither of these two can get away just yet. Godix Anime is going to get hooked in. Darius is going to get a bunch of damage, and that's going to be the Goxy taking 1. Fights on. War Leader is going to get taken down next. It's a 4v4 so far, but all this damage is still going to be there. Barbitua is here. Big ultimate from the side of Tef, who's going to grab one, and then Kiri's going to grab the other, as now Barbitua is seeing his life flash before his eyes. Going to try to stealth out, but really well done, and RLS is going to take the fight.
Man, you take down 1 threat from the side of RLS, 3 more pop up, looking like a Hydra. Like, the only one that's losing sanity over here is me at this point, because every single time I think these players are going to coin flip, it just, you can't turn up heads every time. But
oh no, they're not trying to do
coin
against Veigar.
I do not like this.
Please don't. Come on, you don't know where Twitch is in Veigar with Predator. He can just walk up and one-shot anybody who he wants to. A bunch of damage being taken out by the Baron so far. They're still hitting it, so they are going to be committing. There is no smite available, so can they outsmite the Veigar? Here's going to be he's going to get it, and Veigar's going to steal it. Wednesday grabs it with the ultimate coming through, force the flash out of Tef, and Godix Anime does give his life, but the Baron is jacked by the Veigar.
I mean, it is going to be taken up by Wednesday. Honestly, very... That's a question mark play from RLS, honestly. I was talking about you can't turn up heads on the coin flip every time, and immediately afterwards going to be going for a huge coin flip of a play, which I really don't know about that one.
I mean, at that point, why bother flipping the coin? It's like taking the coin and throwing it against the wall and hoping, and then praying that it's going to land on something good. Like, you're doing this against a Veigar with massive amounts of AP picked up. There's no way you're going to get that. No smites either. So that's just the boldly just getting just handed back over. And with Baron buffs on the side of Team Wash, a big advantage for the side of them for these next couple of minutes, especially with their soul point coming up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, and with no armor pen on the Jinx just yet, it's going to be very difficult to really tear through this front line of the Darius, the Mundo, of the Jarvan, as Jinx is, she's very good at the DPS, and once she does get a reset, it's incredibly strong, but not quite at the point where she's really online just yet. Meanwhile, Kieri going to continue to split push, draw the pressure of the Mundo, has TP inbound. The question is, what is this dragon going to be looking like?
Absolutely. Setup is going to be in the advantage of Wash so far. It's going to be Mewtwo just kind of walking up, looking to check. This is going to be the face check. That is a very smart zap by the side of Tef, checking the bush, not allowing a face check. But this is an interesting positioning because now the mid tower is kind of open, and they're going to opt to give up this dragon. Not going to choose to fight it, but also going to collect up some gold. And this is really big for the side of their team composition. Here's going to be the ultimate from Jinx. It's going to land, but not a lot of damage. Baron's still up and available, and now they're going to sprint to this top side, collect up more gold.
Yeah, and great rotation coming out from Team Wash here, going to be playing the map, not going to be looking for anything to coin flip. Now the question is, here's another Death Rush coming out from Team Wash, and RLS are not going to be taking the bait this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way you walk into this one. You know they're all in there. No one has showed onto this top wave just yet. And frankly, that would be pretty suicidal to try to walk through your your blue side jungle at that point. And this 2-item power spike for the Twitch is massive. Both 80 carries on 2 items, but the way the scaling works is just Kraken Hurricane just does more damage than Gale Force Rapid Fire Cannon at this point. So you really are going to be concerned on how well your team fight is. As Cowrie's going to walk up, and there is going to be no fear just yet, and that is going to be Godix Anime getting Cowrie into the crap, and there's nothing further, as that is going to be the death from Cowrie just walking up to where she had no business being.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Cowrie, they're going to be picked off yet again, the 5th death of the game, and a rampage for the Twitch here. The Twitch is looking scarier and scarier. Before was a little bit down in gold against the Jinx, now completely evened up, maybe even a little bit ahead. But Kieri pays no heed to this, just going to continue to push down these side lanes as the Mundo cannot answer against this Hullbreaker Darius.
Yeah, absolutely. Hullbreaker Dare is getting a bunch of value, but always got to be concerned. You feed the rat, you will get one tap, so you have to be really scared of how much damage Switch is going to come out. BF Tour picked up into his inventory. IE coming in soon. Already the Death Cap. We can't even forget how Wednesday's just been skirting under the radar right now. Death Cap and the Everfrost already picked up, so a bunch of damage onto this AP carry as well. The team fighting is going to be extremely scary for the side of RLS to try to dive into this composition.
Yeah, and one interesting thing from Wednesday is when you take a look at the build here. So, you got the Predator, helps you go fast. You got the Everfrost, helps the opponent not go fast. Are those Moonsteel Spaders?
Yes. Yes, it is.
We're gonna have a fast Veigar.
I mean, at this point, it looks like the Wednesday's going to choose to probably go full tank after this. Interesting decision. Frankly, it doesn't seem like you're going to get as much value as you would from just going for full AP. And the amount of tank items you're going to get are not going to be... I don't know. It depends on how fast you pick them up. But here's going to be the Shirelia's Reverie. They're going to try to find Kieri, who's going to be able to walk out nice and safe. Darius is not going to get picked off just yet. Baron's not going to be available for another minute and a half. So well done. And then Veigar is going to have wasted the Predator, but it is still really fast. And now the fight is going to continue as War Leader is just going to get the knockback on Godix Anime, who is just going to be tickled by it.
Yeah, and Tef now has the Last Whisper.
And Gibby's coming on. Tef forced the flash out. The flash in from Barbiturate, trying to find it all. Shut down onto the Jinx. and he's in there by himself. A bunch of damage. The fight's going to continue. Resetting from Kiri. She's going to already have grab 2.
Oh,
There's
my
going to be the
lord.
3rd one. Ultimate's going to come in, and that's going to be Wednesday dropping him, but that's the stun coming through. So PJ Salt's going to have an easy time collecting up War Leader so far, but that is a good dodge on the last cleaver. War Leader's finding his way out, getting the big amount of movement speed. Another cleaver dodge. One more blast cone to land, and well done, War Leader, for making your way out. But a 4-for-2 fight? I mean, a 4-for-3 fight, and onto the advantage of Team Wash.
Yeah, and Barbiturates did so much damage in that fight, immediately one-shotting the Jinx. And War Leader, only thing you're really going to be leading is the retreat from this one, as he's the only one limping back home. And Wash are going to be able to pick up these towers, going to be taking the gold lead this time around. And while there's so much gold on the Darius, the Jinx sitting there with 9 assists. You got to feel bad about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish we had instant replay to see how that last team fight transpired. But basically, you just saw Darius looking like he's ready to pop off, having everything in the inventory, ready to go, and then just get instantly obliterated by the full combo from the Veigar. So with that happening already, there's no magic resist really collected up on the side of this Darius just yet. So this is going to be really concerning for him having to continuously dive into this Veigar damage.
Yeah, I mean, Kiri, she is absolutely doing a ton of damage, but at the same time receiving a lot. With the cleaver on board, though, going to be allowing players like Tephra, like War Leader, to do a lot more damage on their own. And now it looks like they might be looking to coin flip another Baron.
Please, God, don't do this.
Please, for the love of all things good and holy.
I mean, Barbiturates is a madman.
Oh,
picking up the Jinx in the last fight, so he won't be able to do that again. Stealth going to come in, and this team fight is not going to be into the advantage of RLS. They're fighting into a corridor versus the Veigar, so need to be concerned. Really hoping that War Leader does get a good ultimate to separate out this team.
Yeah, but it's not just the Veigar, you know, it's the Veigar Twitch, where once you get trapped in the baby cage, there is no running from the Twitch autos. Yes, you can technically dodge Twitch autos, but you can't dodge them forever.
Yeah, you basically hoping. Here comes Godex Anime looking for another gank, and War Leader is going to be the one trapped into the pit. A bunch of damage onto this Jarvan. Lulu ultimate's forced out. This is fighting into the corridor, but everyone's getting into the corridor with the ultimate from Twitch, who is going to get taken down by Kiri, but a bunch of damage following through the war. Oh, Wednesday is too strong and is going to collect up Kiri for the shutdown. But once again, Kiri's saving the game, collecting up that last kill onto Twitch before he killed everybody.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Kiri picking up that kill was so important, but at the same time, War Leader with a 4-man spear able to just allow Kiri to get into that backline, and this dragon going to be going over to Wash. There's no shot that RLS are able to contest it this time around, as Tephra just going to try and pick up as much gold as possible as the dragon goes down once again. Sole point for the side of Team Wash.
Yeah, absolutely. And we spent this whole game talking about the Twitch and how important the Twitch is going to be for the success of Team Wash's composition. But let's give Wednesday credit where it's due. 8-3-3 on this Veigar. A bunch of gold in the back pocket, constantly spacing with the baby cage, getting good stuns, and using the primal burst onto the correct target to really isolate out this Darius. When Darius is looking like he's ready to pop off, he gets right into the ground from the Veigar. So, I mean, at this point, Wednesday's MVP, so we got to see how the rest of this is going to go. If Team Wash is going to be able to kind of consolidate their power and actually get an objective, because they've been pushed back on the map for so long.
While Wednesday is putting up an MVP performance, they're looking for more with the Twitch, and you saw how much damage came out when Barbiturates started the ulti, started the autos, and the moment the E comes out, dear God, so much damage. But speaking of damage,
Godex Anime getting caught out. A bunch of damage from this Jinx, who cannot be ignored with the Lord Dominic's being collected up. A bunch of damage, and Godex Anime is going to be forced to back out and collect up some more HP. So they are going to choose to not go for the 4v5 Baron. Really dangerous. Godex Anime does have a very quick path to get back. So I do like that decision for RLS. You're playing it slow. But they are getting outscaled, so the timer's ticking. You don't want this game to go 5 more minutes, and then you're trying to take a 40-minute fight versus Veigar Twitch.
Yeah, and one big thing that I do have to note, We are so far in. The only healing reduction on this team is
Wednesday's
on.
gonna force the flash out of Tef. Really well done use of the Predator, and that is another piece of resources taken away from this Jinx.
Yeah, and I was about to say, the only healing reduction on the side of RLS does happen to be the Chemtech Putrefier coming out from Mewtwo, but the healing reduction from the side of Team Wash seems to just be raw damage because Dear Lord, they have a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole goal is to kill, and if you need to, you can use everything you can. A tank item already being collected up, so this is going to be Wednesday going the more tanky route, not continuously.
Boy.
But here's Barbichua getting the autos out, Flash Force on Mewtwo. 2 people locked in the Cataclysm, and that's going to be Mewtwo dropping first. Fight's going to continue. Barbichua is going to get feared up and going to be walking away, but the Wednesday just immediately obliterates the Darius, so once again, this Veigar is making the threat known. And you have to be really scared for Kiri trying to walk up and instantly just getting blasted by Veigar.
Yeah, I mean, Kiri's still not picking up any MR, but I mean, one of the big things here, right, is that despite the amount of damage and burst that you're seeing from Wednesday, there's still so much DPS coming out from the Twitch, but Wednesday going in real hot.
It's going to be a good amount of return damage coming from the side of Cowrie, and he's going to be able to save her own life. Well done onto that end, but you need to be scared because Twitch is just stealthing up on you is always a concern. And these picks in the late game, 34 minutes on the clock, Baron available. The next fight could easily be the last.
And it's a big question of, you have the Infinity Edge on the Twitch to pop all the squishies. When are you going to be seeing that on the Jinx? And it's not going to be coming for a while, as we do see the Vamp Scepter pick up from Tef here, going to be a Bloodthirster. So that Infinity Edge power spike is going to be very, very delayed from the Jinx here. And Darius still looking for that death stance.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like this from the side of Tef, trolling for the Black Cleaver or maybe the Blade of the Ruin King. Either option seems not very good, considering that if you are in the position where you're taking any form of significant damage from anybody on the side of Team Watch, you're going to die instantly anyway. You kind of just need to be the biggest threat and actually make those rockets hurt to prevent them from continuously diving onto you. So this is going to slow down Tef's curve.
I will say, while it does slow down Tef's curve a little bit, there is I do not believe Tef has any form of healing in the runes because they have the futures market on the Jinx, and I don't think they actually have Bloodline. So because of that, when you do start autoing this front line, which has double Thornmail, you're going to continually take a lot of damage, and that damage sticks. So having some sort of lifesteal to be allowed to continue to auto is incredibly important here, as they're looking for another fight in the toe.
Wednesday is going to be the one forced to flash away. Big ultimate from the side of War Leader. So much damage onto Wednesday, but Godix Anime is going to go in. Barbichua's going to find Tef on the side. Damage already coming through. Godix Anime is going to drop 4v4 so far, and the ultimate from Vex is going to go wide. But now PJ Salt is here. It's going to get the slow onto Cowrie, and they are going to be able to stay onto the wave. Really low HP onto this Karma, so if they're going to go for this dragon, it's going to need to be quick.
Yeah, and Mewtwo just
and
sitting on so little health here, but
absolutely, Baby Cage is in. PJ Salt just fighting, but taking no damage, but flashes out anyway. That's going to be the ultimate from the Mundo. That's not going to be there for this next fight. PJ Salt's going to walk in, trying to delay, trying to take as much time while they're rushing for the base. Watch all team watch. PJ Salt's looking to stop as many bases as he can, and here comes the teleport.
This is bad.
Teleport, he can just instantly die. Kyrie's not going to get stunned, so really carry TP. And it's interesting that that Team Watch didn't just go to obliterate the Vex teleporting on the minion by herself.
I was so terrified. I was convinced Cowrie was dead to rights there, but the Baby Kid's just going to be just barely out of range to do it. So instead, they're going to be able to pick up the dragon. They are just one step closer to the soul, which is so ridiculously powerful on the champions like Vex, on the champions like Hecarim, on the champions like Karma and Darius here. And I mean, in that last fight, Tef nearly managed to one-shot Barbichua.
Yeah, it was really, really close. The crits kind of really mattered at the end, though. So Twitch getting them last 2 crits really made it so that Tef just instantly gets obliterated. But it was a very close
Yeah,
AD carry duel.
I mean, that's that 80% versus 60%, you know? But either way, both AD carries just duking it out despite the entire front line being there. Both of them just opting to go for the battle of the AD carries here. And that time, Barbiturate going to be end up coming out on top. But as this Jinx gets farmed up, once she does get to that Infinity Edge, the question is, will that stay the same? And Wednesday.
Oh, here we go. And this is instantly dead. Flash out. Tef's forced to flash away. Got it. Animate. And bitch was going to find it. One-shot Tef with the ultimate. And now this is a 3v5. Underneath the Nexus towers, they're going to at least get this inhibitor. But it looks like all the bases are going to come through. And Barbiturate just instantly deletes Tef.
Yeah, and instantly deleted as well is the inhibitor here. And the slow deletion seems to be RLS's chances of winning.
Oh,
as
they don't
Kiri
want
gets
Baron. They
engaged
want the game. Here comes the damage. That's going to be Kiri. First one to drop. All the ultimates are going to be there. Barbiturate's going to flash out, still managing to be alive. Cowrie's going to get knocked up, and PJ Salt's going to grab it. So now this is the final push. Cowrie's dead. Tef is dead, and RLS is going to be dropping. Team Wash is not going to be able to do enough. War Leader is going to get the last charge, but the shields are coming through, and Barbiturate has been dead, but founds it, but War Leader is going to join him, and that is going to be Team Wash grabbing their first victory of the season so far, taking down RLS.
And RLS going to be going down there, continuing the RLS versus Wash rivalry. I do remember seeing in the chat earlier, I think it was Bill saying that, hey, y'all don't know that Team Wash is RLS's kryptonite. Now, we only have more games to be looking forward to in order to see if that's true. But either way, incredibly good play coming out from Team Wash. This Veigar pick was insanely strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Just putting on a little bit of a masterclass in draft. ILS would be proud. Veigar being able to prevent any engages. Kiri being forced to walk through it. Just gave a lot of potential and security for the side of this this Team Wash backline, and they played fantastically. I'm really impressed with the way Barbiturate did manage to weave in those autos, collect up the Jinx, even with the flash away. He really made that last big play that helped close out the game. So everybody equally contributing from the side of Team Wash, and you know, maybe they are RLS kryptonite, we don't know.
Who knows? I mean, if you're RLS, you definitely hope that's not true. But either way, we are going to be going on to see how Team Wash does feel about this win, you know? So don't go anywhere.
Constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging. That is constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging.
right, folks. Hello, Chris Edgeworth here with our first interview of the night, and I am joined here today with Wednesday on a Tuesday out of the mid lane. Congratulations on the first win of the year for you folks. How are you feeling after the win?
Pretty good. I feel like we played pretty well.
Now, this is your first game on the main stage coming in from the qualifiers. What were your thoughts coming into this debut?
Not really much thoughts. I'm just here. I mean, I'm here to win, but I'm here to just play with my buddies. I've known these guys, or mostly the ADC and the jungler for a while. I've known them for like a couple years and stuff, but I'm here to just win and have fun with my friends.
Now, if you can give me some insight on the draft that you folks put together, what were you thinking with your game plan, especially with you on the speedy fast Viger waddling at Mach 1 at people? What were your thoughts on the draft you folks put together and what you're up against?
Our thoughts on the draft were we were just drafting standard, like super standard, like Lulu Twitch, like it's like hyper carry ADC with the enchanter support, a mid laner that has like a really good pick potential that like with the Predator and Everfrost. The build I use is it's like a tank, it's like a bruiser Vigar build where it's like you get advanced plate and other tank items and stuff if they aren't building like a lot of MR, which the enemy team wasn't. Yeah, we were just playing standard, like pick potential, a tank top, an engage jungle, hyper carry bottom lane, and a mid laner that has pick potential also.
Right on. Well, this game was pretty back and forth, especially going all the way to 7 dragons. So what were you thinking though? Where I feel like you folks really made a decisive catch of a throw, I guess is the right way to put it. But the Baron steal on your folks' part. Walk me through your thoughts around that time and how it felt getting that big steal.
Well, all I know is Hecarim was like they got it down to like 1900 HP, and like that's when Hecarim respawned, and he had to walk all the way from base all the way to Baron, and so I figured I had enough damage. I had Everfrost and components to Rabadons, or I had a full Rabadon, so I can't really remember. But I figured I had enough damage to steal it, so I just Hail Married it, and we got it.
Hell yeah, and it looks like it paid off in this. So congratulations to Team Wash, and congratulations on your first win here on your first day out. Wednesday, thank you so much for this interview. Before we step away, though, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us on the desk?
Nope, no final thoughts.
All right, folks. Well, that was our first casted game of the day. We'll be back with our third game on the roster, second game of the night, coming back soon. See you then.